Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, whatever time it is. It's morning for me. In fact, it is Monday morning, and I am getting started doing something that's really important to me. In fact, I'm thinking about how do I dedicate a minimum of 2 hours a day to things that don't necessarily pay the bills, but that are more important or very important to me that require action now. So let me explain to you why I'm here and what this is all about. My name is Melissa Wiltsey O'Mara. Many of you know me, or my kids, who are more infamous than me. Kelsey O'Mara Clark, Ryan O'Mara, they're in their 20s, mid-20s, and then my daughter Erin O'Mara, who is currently a junior in Tully Junior Senior High School. You may have seen her on the soccer field or the volleyball court, or possibly on the track. Love my kids a ton, and they are the reasons that I am doing this, whether or not they like it and whether or not they're embarrassed by it. They are the reasons that I'm here making this video and putting myself out into the Tully community to say or to invite a new kind of conversation about the complex issues that I see in our world, that I think most of us see in our world, that will affect life in Tully, and also life for our children, regardless of whether they choose to stay in Tully. And I think it's important that we learn how to have dialogue around important topics in a way that's nonpartisan, open-hearted, open-minded. And this is work that I do in the corporate space with customers. And I've done a little bit of this work in the NGO and nonprofit space. What I haven't done well yet is engage on these kinds of topics in the local community. And so I'm putting myself out, and I'm going to do my best to create a safe and courageous forum and space for you and I and people in the Tully and surrounding area to talk about some of the big challenges that we are seeing, some of the things that we're told not to talk about. Never talk politics, never talk religion, and now I think never talk climate change has become sort of conventional wisdom. I'm not really sure how it got to be conventional wisdom, because this country was founded on pioneers choosing to lead lives in a way that they were free to discuss religion and to practice religious freedom, and to have the ability to speak their minds and tell their truths and share new ideas and innovate and create a whole new world. And we've done that. So what is it in us that where have we stopped having civic and civil dialogue about the most pressing issues that actually threaten our current way of life? And actually that potentially threaten our well-being as humans on this planet. So I want to have those conversations, but not only with people who see the world exactly as I do. Also with people who care as much as I do about their kids and their grandkids and future generations, and who may have a different view of reality. Because if we're only talking to ourselves in our kitchens in hushed tones, then we're not really going to be able to take very powerful action on things that matter. So that's what this u.lab hub is all about, and I'm using a structured, highly researched process and learning from Otto Scharmer at MIT, to support me and us in getting started together. And that's why it's called u.lab. So you'll be getting instructions on how to sign up for this free online course from an online site called edX, lots of different online learning there. This is a free course from MIT and the Presencing Institute. It's called u.lab, Leading from the Emerging Future. It started in September. It's self-paced, and it goes through December, although it'll be available afterwards. And we can choose to set a different pace if we want to locally. We're getting started late. And I want to co-sense with you all, whoever wants to be part of this. How do we want to, at what pace can we, I guess, move along this path together? Let me just tell a little story about why this is important to me personally. And then I'll shut down this recording for now. In 2006, when Kelsey would have been, she was born in 92, so she would have been coming up on 14. She was 13 years old, and Ryan would have been, he would have been like 10 or 11, if I'm doing my math right. I took them to see An Inconvenient Truth, and also one of Kelsey's girlfriends was with us as well. And we went as a family, and I hadn't seen it, but I grew up on a farm, and I care a lot about the earth, and I understood some things about climate change, and I wanted to learn more. So we went to the movie. Wasn't in the mainstream theaters. Went to the movie, and as we left the movie, it had a profound impact on me. Watching the movie for the first time, and in that theater, what I found out as we walked out, that it also had a profound impact on my daughter Kelsey. As we were walking up that aisle to leave the theater, she turned to me and she said, "Mom, I don't know if I want to have kids." And first thing I thought was, what have you done? What have you done? You've scared your children. So my first reaction was to say, "Oh, Kelsey, luckily you don't have to make that decision right now. But what I want you to know is that a lot of smart people are working on this issue and this challenge, and that includes me. So let's just see how things go, because people are realizing the issue here. And I'm working at IBM. We have people working on technology and solutions with our customers, and let's just see what we can do." And so, she accepted that answer, and we moved on, and we probably went to lunch or whatever. But it got me right in the heart, like, oh my God. And it was true. I was beginning to work on these issues inside of IBM in what we call the Green Army. I think it's still operating alive and well, I hope, at IBM, sort of a group of folks that found each other, that were working on things related to climate change and industry impacts of climate change. I actually helped to co-lead an internal study to try to understand the industry impacts of climate change back in 2006. But it wasn't as true as it could have been, and so I started to turn up the volume on my action, and I began to choose roles and projects that would enable me to make a bigger difference. And I tried to get some things going here in Tully. I was part of something called Growing Tully Green in 2007. We had a live session at the school, panel discussion. Some of you were there, and I appreciated being part of that. And it died a little bit on the vine. I didn't have the time to put into it at that point to really energize it. And I don't think I had the skill or the tools either. And I hope I have the skill and the tools now, as well as the time now. And that's what I'm banking on to get something started, preparing the ground, planting a seed with you all and asking you to join me, and let's just find our way. And that's why I'm calling it the Wayfinding in uncertain times, because we'll find our way. And I think it's a lot easier when we're not trying to find our way alone. So I look forward to talking to you in person and online in Facebook and via email and phone and video chat, whatever it takes to find each other and find out what under the covers we really want, and how we feel. Sometimes we don't even know until we begin to slow down, pause, and take the time to think about it. So that's what we're going to do. And I hope you'll really, really sort of join in with all of your heart and find a way to make the time right now. Because, I don't know for sure what's true, in terms of, or how accurate the climate science is. But every time IPCC puts out another report, it appears that we're losing ground, not gaining ground, and that the potential catastrophic effects of climate change are coming at us more quickly than we even thought 10 years ago, let's say. And now that we have about 8 years to stop the rise of CO2, to a level, to keep it at a level which keeps us relatively safe. If that's true, we've got to find time now. We've got to make time now to see what we can do as humans, whether or not we caused this. It doesn't matter. What can we do in the face of a changing climate? And there are other issues. There are other issues that are going to affect us and our kids, and it's open game. It's open season. It's an open discussion. For me, I don't like talking about a war or acting against something. I really want to figure out, what are we for? What are we wanting to create? Not what are we fighting against? So I'm hoping you'll join me. Thanks.